friends, in today's video I am participating in a collaboration hosted by Ingrid from Mommy and Mia's Homeschool Chronicles. In this challenge or collaboration, she wanted us to share our favorite fall go-to recipe. Here in the Midwest, it starts to get cool in the fall and we have some pretty cold winters. And so of course, when you think of cooler weather, you automatically think of soup. Now, my husband and I absolutely love soup. I love soup of all different kinds. My kids not so much, but hey, you know what? I'm cooking, so they either eat it or go hungry. But this soup is actually one that my family, all four of us, really like. And typically there is none left. Just enough for Scott to take in his work for lunch the next day is just about all that we have left from this soup. And the soup I'm talking about is minestrone. So I'm going to share that recipe with you today. Now, it's early October, and in Indiana thinks it's still August. So it's pretty warm outside today, but I wanted to do this recipe for this video. So we're just gonna eat soup tonight for supper, even though it's over 80 degrees outside. So come on, I'll share this recipe with you. It's quick, it's easy. You throw all the ingredients in a crock pot and you forget about it till supper time. The ingredients for this soup are very easy and very forgiving, and you can do it however you want. You want to start with a pound of ground meat. I am using ground pork right now. You can use, it's really good with sausage. You can use ground beef, ground turkey, whatever you want, but I'm using ground pork today. And then you're going to want some canned tomato products and beans. For my soup, I like to put a lot of green beans in mine, so I've got 2 cans of cut green beans here. Main reason is because beans tend to bother my IBS, but green beans do not. 1 can of black beans. Black beans are pretty gentle on my system as well. And then a can of dark red kidney beans. Sometimes I like to put pinto beans in too, but for my IBS, no more than 1 can. If you don't have any kind of digestive issues and you really love beans, you can just add whatever kind of beans you like. Then I'm going to put in 1 can of beef broth, 1 can of tomato sauce, and then 2 cans of stewed tomatoes, and I'm going to smush the stewed tomatoes up into smaller pieces. Once I get this all in the crock pot, if I decide it needs to have a little more tomato, I might add another can of tomato sauce. I'm also going to put in a couple squirts of this concentrated tomato paste. And then, like I said, I'll just look at it and see if it needs any more water. And I might just add some water or whatever it needs once we get it all in the crock pot. Then the spices and seasoning you're going to want is onion, bay leaves, garlic of whatever kind you want, whether it be fresh, dried, garlic powder, whatever. This time I'm going to use garlic pepper, and this also has salt in it, so I'm not going to add any extra salt. I don't typically over salt my food. We can just salt it to taste at the table. And then I'm going to put in oregano leaves. Now I normally put in Italian seasoning, and I looked through my cabinet and couldn't find it. I'll look again and see if it got shoved back somewhere. If I find it, I will add Italian seasoning. So the first thing you're going to want to do is brown your meat and drain it. This is the hardest part of the recipe. Just joking. You're going to just go ahead and start dumping stuff into the crock pot. So here I've got the can of tomato sauce, and I'll take this over to the sink and add some water and rinse that out and dump the water in. 1 of the cans of green beans, I'm going to leave the liquid in it, dump that in. The other can I'm going to drain and then dump that in. The kidney beans I'm going to drain and rinse. The black beans I'm also going to drain and rinse. I'm going to dump in the beef broth. I've got the stewed tomatoes, and like I said, I'm going to crunch these up just because I don't like really big chunks of tomatoes. But I had these stewed tomatoes in my pantry, and I really feel like I needed to use them, so just squish them up. If you don't mind chunks of tomatoes, you don't have to do this part. Also going to rinse these tomato sauce or stewed tomato cans out and dump the water in there. The ground pork is fried and it's not really very greasy, so I'm not going to worry about draining it. Just going to add that cooked meat to this pot. Give this a nice stir. That's a nice full pot of soup. I don't think I need to add any more liquid to it. I am going to put a nice generous squeeze of this tomato paste in there. 2 to 3 tablespoons probably. Add in some of my dehydrated onion. And I did look and I could not find any Italian seasoning, so that's got to be put on my shopping list. And all of the seasonings are to taste, whatever you like and however much you like. I'm going to put in 2 to 3 bay leaves. Couple teaspoons of this garlic pepper. I just use the lid to scoop it out. And a couple tablespoons of oregano leaves. So then you just stir this in really well so all the spices are wet. You put the lid on the crock pot and you have it on. Well, if you start this in the morning and you're going to be gone all day and you want it ready for supper at night, you put it on low. But if it's like me and it's already noon-ish, it's already 2 o'clock, and I want this ready by 6, I have my crock pot on high. So you go ahead and put the lid on it. You don't mess with it at all until about a half an hour before you're ready to serve it. But you add in some pasta, whatever kind of pasta you have. I've used different kinds in this soup and they all taste really good. This time I'm going to use whole wheat elbow, and I'll probably put 1/3 to 1/2 of this box in there. You let it cook for another half hour till the pasta is tender but not overcooked, and then you serve it.
here it is, all ready to serve. I love mine with saltines, and so does the family. I really like them with oyster crackers, but I didn't have any, so we're using saltines tonight. And as I suspected, there was not a whole lot left. There is enough for us to have for lunch tomorrow, but after that it will be gone.
So there you have it, friends. There is my easy, delicious minestrone soup recipe. I hope you give it a try. I will have Ingrid's channel and the playlist linked in the description box below, so you can check out everyone else's fall go-to recipes. Thanks so much for watching, friends, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.